I've started a YouTube channel. Welcome. This year has been nuts. And during a time period when we were all locked inside and literally could not go anywhere, I had several people approach me, and by several I mean like probably 5, and I could probably tell you exactly who they are. Can I name all 5? That doesn't matter, I can name at least 3, but there were at least 5 people who approached me within 1 week. 1 week. It's the only reason why I remember it. Is because it all happened within 1 week. Everyone just must need some entertainment. May I just note that that was probably 2 months ago that these people approached me and were like, make a YouTube channel, we need entertainment and we'd like to listen to you talk. I don't know why anyone would ever want to sit down and purposefully listen to me talk, but I guess here we are. 2 months later, I'm talking to my roommate Anna and I say, Anna, fine, I already have like 1,000 projects going on that I have to stop in the middle of at some point because that's how I operate. Why don't I just like start this project to stop in the middle of eventually? She said, yes, 100%, because she was one of the 5. Like I said, I can name at least 3. I was like, okay, fine, if I do this, what do I do? And she was like, just talk. All I do is talk. Like I said, crazy that any of you actually want to sit down and listen to me speak. I don't even know if I'm in focus. Let me check. So I am in focus, but I guess you already knew that because you've been watching it this whole entire time and you didn't have to pause it to go around and look to make sure that you're in focus. I'm in focus, but boy, don't I not look pretty today. So this week, I've decided to give you a list of television shows to watch during this quarantine / things are kind of opening up but we still need to stay at home but things are kind of confusing period of time, compiled of things that I started watching at the beginning of quarantine to things that I am watching right this second. Now, I do watch a lot of television, I watch a lot of movies, so things are constantly changing, constantly on my TV. They're always going because I like background noise. I always have something going on. If it's the first time I've ever watched it, typically I'm not doing something else at that time. But regardless. So because I'm crazy and for some reason you've decided to sit down and watch this, there's no reason to go in a chronological order of shows that I recommend you to watch. Why would I do that? Why would I start at 1 and go, Seeker, stop messing with the plant. Right, so, why go in a chronological order? Why go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1? That's boring. That's what normal people do, and we're not normal here, and you decided to sit down and listen to me talk for an undisclosed amount of time. With that being said, we are starting at number 9. Number 9, a show for you to watch, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender came out on Netflix relatively recently. Seeker, do you really want to go outside right now? I, for one, had never seen Avatar at all, period. So it became the show that I had to sit down and watch because my other 2 roommates, Anna and Dallas, had seen all of it. And they were like, you've never seen Avatar, you have to see Avatar. Now you can see Avatar. And my friends from home were like, how did you ever get by with us by not seeing Avatar? And I was like, I don't know, it's not something that I'd ever seen. I didn't watch that on Nickelodeon, I was on Disney Channel. Avatar's at number 9, specifically because, sure, it's a good show for kids. It's a good show for kids. The ending could have been better. Please come for me. It's great. But it is a nice thing to sit through and do something with your time. I did not put it last, even though I said it first, so you would say it would be last. It is still ranked at number 9. Coming in at number 7 is Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful BBC television show that Netflix has now picked up to continue on. Now, Peaky Blinders is a really, really, really beautiful show, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you sit down and decide to watch it specifically because on a movie night you decide to watch Inception because it's been a minute since you've watched Inception, and then you're sitting there going, I forgot Cillian Murphy was in this. Christopher Nolan uses Cillian Murphy a lot. Cillian Murphy exists. He doesn't look super pretty in this one, but you know what he does look really pretty in? Peaky frickin' Blinders. So you watch Peaky Blinders, then you realize about halfway through the 2nd season, do I really want to sit through hour-long episodes right now during a pandemic, even though this is a really beautiful television show, and even though I'm not 100% paying attention anyway? And so then you end up looking around and you're like, I don't really have the patience for Peaky Blinders right now, which is why it comes in at number 7, because it's a high-quality show, and low on the attention span. I don't have the attention span right now during quarantine for it. I don't know when I ever had the attention span for it, but I'm glad that I did because the show is so... If you have the attention span, push that baby up to number 1. So you're sitting there going, I really want to watch something familiar. I'm not really in the mood to watch something new, but I need to be able to do something, but still be able to look around and giggle. Well, that's when you look at number 2. Number 2 suggestion is Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers, specifically starting with season 3. The first 2 seasons are fine, but there's a lot of character establishment, and if you've already watched Bob's Burgers, you don't need to watch the first 2 seasons. The episodes there are fine. I think that the only thing that like you'd miss out on is like Brunch Squash. But season 3, specifically starting with episode 15, which is titled OT, the Outside Toilet. I think that that's a good starting point. If you really want to push it back a little bit further, you can push it back to season 3, episode 11, which is Nude Beach, which is another decent spot to start at. But I typically, whenever I'm restarting Bob's Burgers, always started at season 3, episode 15, OT, the Outside Toilet. I think that is when Bob's Burgers really starts to pick up and has that really big moment of funny. Those few seasons right in there in the middle, beautiful. And we're finally getting back to those like great, truly pure humor and well-written episodes. The reason why you start with OT, Outside Toilet, is because it's a Gene episode. Gene is the all-time best character in the series. No questions asked. I will not hear any other opinions on it. And immediately following that is episode 16, Topsy. Now, if you've watched Bob's Burgers, you know exactly which episode I'm talking about. It is the best episode of all time for Bob's Burgers. It really pushes that series in the direction that it will be going. And it showcases Gene being incredibly talented that nobody is addressing. Nobody is addressing it, which is why Bob's Burgers is the number 2 thing to watch during quarantine or this weird time that we're living in. It's light, it's fun, it's great for all ages, it's well written, and it's just beautiful overall. You can watch it for hours and hours and hours. Now you might be feeling a little bit like you want to try something new. You've tried a lot of the old stuff, the things that you're familiar with, and you wanna try something new. So you start reaching out for some suggestions, you know? Which is why coming in at number 6 is Archer. You reach out for a suggestion, you sit there wondering, well, you know, it's been sitting in my like watch list for a really long period of time. The voice actor who plays Bob plays Archer, so you know that it's gonna be good. So many notable actors that come into Archer. I can't think of any of their names right now besides the character they played, like the mom in Arrested Development, or Jerry from Rick and Morty. So sorry, I don't know either their actual names right now, but they're voices that you're familiar with. So you finally take that suggestion and you sit down and you watch it, but for some reason you just don't finish it because that's the way quarantine is. You start a lot of things and you don't finish it. It's still very good, and that's why it's kind of in the middle of the list. There's 6. I wish I could rank it higher just because I haven't finished it yet. It's gonna sit there, still very funny. But then you get to this point where you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I'm watching other people's shows that they really enjoy, right? Like, I'm sitting here watching new things. I needed something new in my life, but you know what's really great? I really want to sit back and watch some of the things that like I enjoy and share them with the people who I'm around. So coming in at number 8 is Disenchantment. Disenchantment is done by the same exact people who did Futurama. If you're a Futurama fan, it's really great. I think that it's actually better than Futurama. It's a little bit of a linear plot, so it's easier to follow, whereas Futurama is you might want to sit down with your roommates and be like, hey roommates, there's this really funny show that I think you might enjoy. It's called Disenchantment. And your roommates are like, I don't really want to watch anything that you suggest to me. And you're like, cool, let's watch it anyway. So you watch the first 5 episodes with them, and then they end up being disinterested with Disenchantment, but you're still enchanted by it, so you stay on and you watch the rest of the first season. So your roommates don't know exactly how anything ends or where it's at, but you sure do, which is why it's at number 8, because you weren't able to finish it, but at least maybe your roommates will finish it eventually. Along those same lines, you're looking for something that you want to watch. that maybe has been suggested to you for a while, but you never really thought about to watch it until there was literally nothing else to watch. Community. Community is coming in at number 4. I hope you're keeping track of where these all are because I barely am. Community. Something that's been suggested to you for years, literal years, and have you actually sat down to watch it? No, because you don't have time, and your anxiety makes you want to watch the same thing over and over and over again, even if you know you'll be fine, because you know exactly what's going to happen when. Community is a really great comedy written by Dan Harmon, which really shows in some episodes. What's that? Your roommate didn't like Disenchanted, but you still want to suggest something to them? Oh, well that's okay, because you're just gonna suggest to them your number 1 favorite television show of all time, BoJack Horseman. Now you might be surprised that I am not putting BoJack Horseman in the number 1 spot. Crazy, right? Is she mentally stable? No, I'm not. But I'm going to get Anna to finish it, which is why it's ranked higher than Disenchanted, because Disenchanted, well, it's great. It's not like near and dear to my heart. I'm not going to make her finish it if she doesn't want to. She will finish BoJack Horseman, which is why BoJack Horseman is listed at number 3. We are only halfway through the first season. Good grief, she's going to want to sit down and watch it eventually, but right now it's more of a... So, you know, you might have to push your roommates through it because it is slow to start at first and it's hard to get attached to the characters when you don't know very much about them at the very beginning. Now, you might get to a point. I've had people suggest things to me, and I've suggested things to people. Well, now what? I really don't know what to watch. I'm running out of rewatching things. I can't rewatch BoJack Horseman because I have to wait for my roommate to finish it, and we're only halfway through season 1, and that's the one that I always rewatch. And then you see that Netflix has a new button, the shuffle button. So you say, I'll give this shuffle button a try. And you hit shuffle and you are blessed. You are blessed with something that you've been looking at saying, perhaps I will try to watch that at some point because it seems interesting to me. And what is that? Middleditch and Schwartz. Middleditch and Schwartz. I know that it's not really like an actual television series, but it is a nice short series. It's only 3 episodes long. I wish there were more. I hope that there's more because these 2 men are so funny. If you like long form improv, this is the one for you. I didn't say what number they came in at. Middleditch and Schwartz is number 5. Number 5 on the list. It is not really a series, which is why it's as low as it is. Which is why it is as low as it is. However, that does not stop me from rewatching it 5 times, which is also why it is number 5, because that's the number of times you'll rewatch it once you've started it and you just need something to laugh at. So we've done all the middle ones. All that's left is number 1 and number 10. So coming in at number 10 goes along with the lines of the suggested areas. You've taken suggestions from several people, right? One of those suggestions might come from your fellow workers at your job, your co-workers, as some might say, where they say you have to watch specifically episode 3 of this show so that way we can talk about it. So you sit down to watch it and you're like, I don't know if I really want to start at episode 3 because I want to see what the context is for everything else. So you watch the first episode of it and you're not super into it, so you're like, I'll just watch episode 3 so that way they'll be happy, right? You watch episode 3 and it's fine still. The show I'm talking about is Midnight Gospel. I had other people recommend it to me later, but I don't know why I can't get behind it. Okay, so luckily I realized that my camera had stopped recording, but we're back. We're good. We're fine. I realized it and immediately spilled my water on the floor. We're good. We're fine. I was talking about Midnight Gospel. So Midnight Gospel is fine. I don't understand why I'm not as more into it as I thought that I would be, because it's just a podcast with artwork put to it. Maybe I need a little bit of a story to be interested in a television show, but I don't know I think that a lot of the topics that they talk about are interesting. So if you're someone who likes to listen to podcasts regularly, 100% it's for you. I, for some reason, don't listen to I really want to get into podcasts. I can't for some reason. But, you know, if that's something that suits you, go for it. And finally, coming in at number 1, that top spot, is something that you haven't maybe seen in a while. I know I hadn't watched in a while. It's one of Dallas's favorite television shows, and I'd never seen it before, so now she's sitting in and watching it. I did want to watch Parks and Recreation, because that's, like, has a soft spot in my heart for what got me through college. I'll still go back and watch some of my favorite episodes on occasion. But what I needed to focus on was a new sitcom that I could sit through and watch, one that I'd seen before, but maybe it'd been a while. something that could make me laugh, make me cry, allow me to use my dead dad pass once again. Not that I don't already use it on a regular basis. I am talking about New Girl. New Girl is great. It has been everything for me. We've all been sitting together watching it, laughing, whatever. It really brings everyone together, and I think it has a different resonance when you're moving towards your 30s. I know that I'm still a little bit ways away, but I'm still moving in that direction, and now it's resonating a little bit different because the last time I watched I was like 20, and now I'm like in my mid-20s, so now it kind of feels a little bit different. Anyway, that's why New Girl is my number one. Here's the perfect list all together somewhere. Maybe it'll show up on here, maybe it won't, who knows. Anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching me talk for an undisclosed amount of time. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't sat down to edit it. But yeah, cool. Maybe I'll do another one next week about other things that you can watch or do during this weird time period. Who knows? Got lots of things, lots of projects, lots of work happening. This has just been a fun little thing to do. Great, you don't get much of an outro because I don't know how to end things. So, you know, see you later. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day.